Okay, everyone, I'll start with the same image now, and then we will move to the other one. So I will tell you another way of matching this. So this one, as you know, these two images that we were working on, the lighting is a little different. So you have to make sure your lighting is same, otherwise it will not match. So I will open this image, and then I will open the other image that we use. Okay. So first thing what I will do is that I will just take this whole thing here, copy this, paste it here, and remove the background. Okay, first I have to resize this, then I will remove. And I have to flip it so that it matches the light as well. Okay, so now we're done. So simple those steps that we did last time, those will remain same. So black and white. Okay. After that, matching colors or matching light. So I will take the color sampler from here, click on her foreground or like forehead, and then her forehead, both of them grayscale. So this is 10% bright and this is 55% bright only. So what I will have to do is that I have to put my levels, clip it down, bring the bright all the way up to 12% to match her, because this is 12, so it should be matching her. So you have to play with the mid-tone also. This is the mid-tone and the bright area. Okay, once you are done with this, so after that we will create another one for the dark area. So I have to move this to the dark parts, like suppose her shirt part here and her shirt part here. So this is 68, this is 38. So I have to make a new one, new level, clip it down, and then try to push this black here. Also I have to play with this. Okay, now I have to mask this whole image and bring the bright and the black parts up. So I will take this black color, put it here inside this, and then take my brush and with the white color and paint over the mask to bring the dark parts. Okay, so mainly the parts that you think should be dark, there you will be playing around. Okay. Just a little bit here. That's all. Now if I'll turn it off, so you can see that it is matching the brightness now for the both images. I think here I have to reduce this. It should not be here much. Okay. And this have to be a little bit more dark at this area. Okay. Now we have to work on the saturation part. For the saturation part, what I will do here is that I will create a new saturation layer, a selective color layer from here. So I'll just click here, the selective, all of these colors. And all these white neutral colors back here. So once we have this, we will use the hue saturation. I will go on this top layer here, take the hue saturation, clip it down, and try to match the hue saturation with this one. So I can take this, go over here, and try to match all these. Okay. So a bit of more. Okay. And one more thing, the brightness is like this layer is too much, so I will just reduce from here the opacity of it. Okay. Maybe 85. Okay. Done. And overall saturation here. Okay. Now what I will do here is that I will make a new layer. I will copy this one, the background. Go back here. Paste this. And I will go to the blur, Gaussian blur, all the way up, something like this. Okay. So that little bit is there, but not too much. Then I'll go to the blending mode and I will choose here something that can match it. Multiply, I think is better, so I can reduce the opacity of this till it matches. Or lighten, I think lighten is better. And one more thing, I have to take this mask, copy this mask, create a mask layer here, and paste the mask here, so it will only affect her, not the original one. I'll choose luminosity instead of the light, and I think luminosity is better. Okay, and then in the end I can make a new shadow layer of her. Okay, this one should be okay, because what happens that the mask, the clipping went away because I made a new layer. So whenever you do some updates, your clipping like goes off. So make sure your clipping stays there for the whole time, because whenever you make a new layer or do some adjustment, it goes off. Now what I will do here is that I will merge this layer, okay, into an empty layer so that I can have a separate layer as her. Now I will just go back here. Let's put some black color here. I will just double click on this area, so I will get this option, color overlay black. Okay, put something just like this so it matches with here. Okay, for the tourist spot, you can take it from the internet, the background. Also the celebrity, you can take it from the internet, but you have to make sure they are high resolution quality. Okay, and use it for the personal use, not for the commercial, because there is a copyright issue all the time. Okay, and then something like 10, I will use the Gaussian blur to make this blur. Use multiply value, reduce its opacity a bit. Okay, not too much. Then you can take the eraser tool with a little bit high value of opacity and only remove the outside edges. Okay, and then you can give it a bluish color, because here you can see that it is more like bluish. So I'll just go to the curves, clip it down to the shadow only, go to the blue part, increase the blue brightness from here, or from here you can see that I can move it so you can see it's becoming bluish. Okay, a little bit more opacity lower. Now the edges, you can see some white is there. Okay, here, so that you have to blur it out. To take this blur it, but there is a mask here, so what we can do, we can merge this mask, okay, to an empty layer, so it will become one. Okay, it's not updating, so let me reopen this. Okay, but the thing is, it is clipped, that's why I'm not able to do that, so I have to remove it off the clip and then I have to merge it, and now I have to clip them back again, because when it is clipped you cannot merge it separately. Now it's fine. I can go back here, take the blur and blur the edges here so it looks like it is actually there. Okay, now notice this image is a little bit sharper, but this is a little bit blur. So we have to do that as well on this image. We have to blur it out a bit. So I have to go to the filter, blur, Gaussian blur, but not too much, 0.2, something like that. So it stays a little bit imperfect, okay? So I think 0.3 will be enough. Okay, so now it stays a little bit imperfect because this is slightly blurred also, this is slightly blurred also. Now on the edges, it have to be a little darker as well. You can see that on the edges when it's meeting the background, it's a little darker. So I have to take a like a burn tool, and then I have to take the highlights and burn the highlights from here. A little bit more exposure I will use here. So you can see that when it is meeting the ground, like the background, it is a little bit dark there, but not too much. Then I can take a midtone, start with the midtone, but with a lesser size and lesser exposure. Okay. Let me remove this. So this is one other way of doing this, trying to match the images, and then and then okay, so this is one of the other way to do it. Now you can see that her image have more bluish reddish area, magenta tone, so I can make a curve in the end, clipping on her only, and I can take this part and try to adjust first this brightness on contrast areas. Okay, and then I can go to the bluish part, try to increase a little bit blue, not too much, a bit, a touch of blue. Okay, so that matches that. Red, a bit of red here. Okay, then what you can do is that you can put the black color inside this curve so that everything is gone. Now you can take a painting tool, make it white, and opacity, it's up to you how much you want, and then you can keep on doing that. So I will just paint over with the white, so it will apply that on the areas just like so, it will match. Okay, so this is how we will get the whole thing as it is. Now this is one way of the other way of doing this one. Okay, now let's see if we have to match images with a giant background. So I have this image. Okay, so you can see that it's an image of this area. Okay, and I have to match with this like with this one with my other picture. Okay, so what I will do, I will open this one, the 197. Okay, it's a raw image. Always take raw images so it is clear. I think this is the wrong one. 198. Okay, this is the one right there. Okay, so this is fine. I will open this, and then what I need to do here is that I have to find our horizon over here. To find the horizon, you will see that there are some objects placed here like this one, okay, and then like something like this here. Okay, so what I will do here is that I will make a new layer, take a line tool, okay, make a line here with this. Let me do one thing here. Let me take the stroke color of this line like black and make it a little thicker, so we know what we are actually doing here. And one more thing, this have to be pixels. Okay, and it's not creating it as pixel. So fill and stroke none. Now let me try. Okay, for now it's fine. And then let's check this here. Only what I'm trying to do is that I'm trying to guess where can be the horizon. So horizon will be somewhere over here at this part. Okay, so if I move, I will make one more here somewhere. Like matching this. Okay, so somewhere here, basically, this is the horizon, you can say. This is the horizon. Okay, so this is the horizon. I will delete all these. I don't need this one. Now, what is this? This is like more like telling us that this is the part where the sky and the ground meets actually. So this is where my horizon is. Now I will go to the other image here, which I want to place it. Okay. So I will take this one, 4202, open it up. Okay. Now here I want to check where is the horizon. So here I have to take one line here, and then here I will take this line. So horizon over here is somewhere a bit up. I guess somewhere here, this side. Okay, so this is where the horizon of this image is. So why we need the horizon? So we can match the horizon of both areas. So I have to copy this one. Okay. And here, where is the horizon? Horizon is somewhere here. So that horizon should match with this horizon. So we'll know that they are lying over here. So okay. So what I will do is that I will just move her. Her horizon is on this spot. So both horizons should match. Okay, this is her horizon. So if I will click here with this line, so you can see a little bit up, I have to move it. Almost there. So that's where her horizon, like both horizon meets, her horizon and this horizon. So what it will do is that it will match perfectly the ground. Now if I want to make her small, or if I want to make her big, I have to make her big or small from this side. So what I will do at this is that I will just go to her layer, okay, and then go to free transform, for example, okay, and then I have to turn this on, and this is the reference point, and this reference point I have to put it here. So now if I will make it bigger or smaller, it should be done from here, okay. So I have to use this value here somewhere, okay, check mark, and now I will, okay. So you can see that it is working from, should be working from this side actually, okay. So if I go to scale, this should be the part. Okay, so from here I just want to make it bigger or smaller. So you have to make sure this is the part where it will be uh, changing. Okay, so the size, I think it's fine. I don't want to make her smaller. Otherwise, what will happen if I will make her smaller from this side? What will happen is that she will go off the horizon and it will not look right. Okay, so this is the right spot I want to do it. Now, one thing you will notice is that when any object is small, okay, this is the same light, same settings, okay, everything is same. I just removed the table when I was taking her picture and she was under the same light, but it will look like she is more darker than him, because his size, and actually his size is small, but and her size actually is bigger. So this light will be more stronger when applying on the like when falling on a smaller object. It will be more brighter because object size is small, but it will be not too bright if it is falling on a bigger object. So that's why she is more darker. So we have to make her brighter as him, because her size is now equal to his size, okay, approximately. So first of all, I have to go in the properties, remove the background of her, okay. Once this is done, now this part, some few parts are left there, so I have to remove those parts here with the black paint inside the mask, like here. So now that's fine. Now again, to adjust the brightness, same thing, black and white, okay, and then I have to take the color sampler This is his bright part, okay, and this is her bright part, for example. Or I think shirt will be better. Now, this grayscale, this is the grayscale. Now, this is number one. Number one is him, and number two is her. You can see the number is written over here on the shirt. Now what I will do here is that I will make a new level layer here. Try to brighten it up so it reaches, hers reaches to 1% as well. Okay. So I will do that. More. Okay. So we can see it is bright enough now. Maybe I can put this off too. Okay, and now I will move this one to this part and hers this part. Now I will work on the mid-tone. Move this mid-tone. So it will be 43 something around. Okay, so let's see how it is. Okay, this is fine, but it should be clipped only on her. Now let's work on the bright part, the darker parts. Okay, so I have to go here, make a new, or let's do one thing. Let's paint with a black color here on her dark parts, like her trousers should not be too bright, so I will just reduce the opacity of the black color here and paint here. It will remove some brightness from there. I think this is too strong. Around 21. Okay, now I will do that. Parts that you think should not be. Okay, so much more better now, but you will see that there is some noise over here. Okay, now we have to work on the noise because of the brightness. We got this noise actually here. To work on the noise, I have to do another one here, levels. Okay, now this time, this level, we will work on the darker part. So I will take the color sampler from here, move it to the dark area, like suppose this part, and this one as well over here. Okay, now clip it down only to her. So I will press this one, it will only clip her. His dark part is around 87% and her is 92. So if I will increase this one to, I think this. Okay. That's fine. But again, I have to put the black color over here and only paint with the white color only on the part that I want it to be matching, like suppose this part, this part. Okay, that's all. Now I will remove this. Now a bit of a color like correction over here I will do with the hue and saturation. clip it down. A bit, not too much, because it's the same environment, that's why. The only thing I need to do now is that to take the curve, clip it down. There is a lot of blue over here, so we have to go to the blue, reduce the blue, and you can see that it's getting much more better. Now with the green, let's see. I think it's only better to remove the blue, so I will just move the blue from this side only, that's all. Okay. Now if there is a noise here, so that we can remove in the end, but we have to create some shadow here. So two layers of shadow. One layer of the shadow is, let me remove these so that this won't annoy us. Two layers of shadow. One layer of shadow is on the sharp area, just like here, okay, which is something like this we have. So I have to make a new layer, take a brush with around this hardness, not 100% zero hardness, a bit hardness like 80, 87 or something like that, because we're creating the hard shadows here. And only on this part, let me increase the opacity here a bit. Okay, a bit erase, I will do it here. I think we have to blur her foot also. So let me make a new layer and merge her with the new layer, because we don't want her mask to be there. So again, I have to move her out of the clipping, and then I can move her back to the clipping once everything is done. Now merge it, and I will put clippings back. Okay. So I have to blur her feet here, because the problem is that not only feet but the whole edges, and few parts of her feet we have to remove so that it shows the shadow, because it's overlapping with the shadow right now. So I will take the eraser tool, a very tiny small eraser tool, to remove kind of this part. Now if I turn it on, you can see now the shadow is there, but I have to create a right shadow. Let's make the shadow again. Okay. So what I will do here is that I will just go to filter, blur, and motion blur. And straight motion blur means like horizontal motion blur, and it will be giving motion blur to this part. Increase this so you can see that going here. Okay, now I will make a new layer for this part. Okay, now again filter, blur, motion blur. And a little bit I will give it to this here, some more, and add another motion blur, but this time not too much. Okay, now again I will give a motion blur, but this time what I will do, I will change the direction to 90, and slight motion blur, and same thing I will do here. Okay, now that's the small one. Now what I will do here is that I will create another one, the bigger one. Okay, so more blurry, so that means zero hardness, little bit more bigger size, and low opacity. So here on the bottom, not on the top. Okay, and then I will go to the filter again, blur, motion blur, zero angle, and give it a little bit more. Something like that. Now I will create a new layer here, and again motion blur, filter, blur, motion blur. Okay, kind of it's like that. Now where anything meets the ground, like or like in the previous picture when she was like standing on the wall, so her back was more like touching the wall. So what I did, I took the burn tool and I burned her back so it will become darker. So wherever you are meeting the ground or touching the wall, so that part you have to make it a little bit darker. In her case, her feet is touching, so I will just take the burning tool and try to burn, make these parts a little bit darker. So exposure, I have to make it higher a little bit. I think highlights or shadows maybe. Yeah, shadows. But it's too dark, so I think reduce this and then okay. Now another thing is that it's on the plastic, and you will see that on the plastic there is a reflection here, but not a clear sort of reflection. So what I will do here is that I will just make a copy of her. Okay, But one more thing here, I think we have to increase a little bit level over here because the light should be more, you can see that on his face, the light is more stronger. So a little bit more here. Now I think it's better. Okay, so now I will take her in picture. Okay, put it all the way down. But now, you know, I made a new picture, so all clipping is gone. So I have to put the clipping back. So keep in mind, sometimes students don't understand this and they keep on asking me, you know, our clipping is not working. So clipping is not working because maybe you have moved your layer. So you have to re-clip everything back because I just made a duplicate copy. So all the clipping went off. So I will just take this, flip vertical, put somewhere here. Okay. I have to make it smaller with the shift key because I have to stretch her. And then you can see that this is meeting this leg, but this leg is not meeting. So what I have to do, I have to go in the transform, skew, and you have to skew a bit here. And now, what else? I can use puppet wrap tool and put some points here. And I can move these points just to match this leg with this. And you should not move from here. Okay. Now you don't have to worry about the colors here. Only thing you need to do is that you have to use the opacity all the way just like this. Okay. Now to match this, if you will see that the floor is like a little bit, you know, zigzag. So what you can do, you can take your smudge tool and use a very hard brush, not too hard. I think this much, a little bit. Strength is fine. So I can move this according to my background. Okay. So a little bit here and there so that it looks irregular, just like on the floor. Okay. Now this one, if you will take a background from the internet, it will be issue for you because then you have to do a lot of color correction. If you want, you can, but it's better to do, you have to take it your own picture, so it will become easier. Because here what I did, I just matched the brightness on contrast. I don't have to do or more the other things. So my half of the work was saved. But if you will take from internet everything, then you know it will not look right. So I will play with a little bit levels in the final touch-ups. Just for her trousers, her legs. And what I will do, I will take this one and I will duplicate this. Again, all these clippings are gone because I duplicated that layer. Now in this duplicated one, what I will do is that I will just put the whole thing black. So I will go there, take a box, make a black color, and make a box over here so the whole thing becomes black. Oops, wait, I did something wrong here. Pixels, okay, and create a whole thing so that there will be a box over here. Okay, and then I will only paint over the brightest area with the white color. So I will take my white color here, take the opacity a little bit higher. Some opacity with higher value, some opacity with the lower value. Some here, some here. Okay. And then in the end, you can reduce the opacity to match what you're looking for. So for me, this is fine. Okay. So you can see that how we have matched it. And it was easy because of the background, because of the environment. Environment was same. In the end, what you can do, you can just do blur it up a little bit. Okay, so I can go to the blur, Gaussian blur, this image, her image, a little bit blur, so that it matches with this. Okay. So if you can see, if I will turn on the black and white, so you can see it is now matching with the lights. Because here the main thing is the lights. Because when the light falls on a smaller object, he is more brighter, and when the light is falling on a bigger object, that object is not bright enough. So what you need to do, you have to match the lighting, because you are turning the other person down. So when it's size. So when you're reducing the size of her, that means she will be receiving more light. So you have to match the lights. So this is how you will match the light. And in the end, just for the sake of little touch up, you can add a color lookup adjustment layer. And then on the whole thing, not only on her, on the whole thing, you can choose any kind of color adjustment here. Okay, just to make a overall like color effect, like color grading. Okay, so this is how you can do this. Okay, and you can use any one of these here, try different values and see which looks better. This looks good. This also looks good, but it's too dark. Suppose if you like something, okay, like suppose if I like this one, or maybe this one, but it's too harsh, so you can go back here, reduce its opacity. Okay, so it will blend with the original one, or you can choose some other one. Okay, so this is how you will work on your finals. And here I spend a little time on it because we don't have time for the in the class. So it's better for you to spend more time on each image to get a good nice result, because once you will create a one image, because you are supposed to do 5 images here, okay, and then you can do the different ideas, okay, but the thing is that your actor should be one. You have to the one actor should remain, and your ideas have to be different. It should not be one idea, okay, but the actor should be same for the consistency. Okay, so we can move on the blackboard, and I can like tell you more about this, okay, on the blackboard. So let's move to the blackboard now.